every fucking 5'9" guy says they're 5'11". That's just not true. So it's like I'm one short from 6 foot, but like basically 5'9" because 5'11" is just 5'9".
5'11" is 5'9"?
I'm
Well,
five
dude,
nine.
well,
I'm
well,
five nine.
dude,
Oh.
every 5'9" guy says they're 5'11". It's just fucking not
Yeah,
true,
or
dude.
5'10".
Or 5'10". Yeah, they're
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like,
I say 5'10" sometimes.
oh,
So
of course, dude, you
yeah.
have to.
So if you're 5'11", you say you're 6 foot or what?
No, dude, because I think that's a jump. I think you can't make that jump.
You can't make
I don't
that
think
jump.
you
You
can
got to
make
say
that.
5'11".
You gotta say 5'11". Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
like,
The second you end up with a 6 footer, you're fucked. But hey, if you have shoes on, you're pretty much chilling.
I'm chill. Yeah, no, I'm 6 foot with shoes on for sure. But
Mm.
like, if a shorty presses me about the license, it's gonna say five. It's gonna lead with five. So it's like,
So
dude,
you're
you can't
fucked.
go. Yeah, I'm 3 foot fucking five right now in a wheelchair, so it doesn't matter, dude.
It's like stand up, let me see. It's like, oh, don't go
Yeah.
there. All right. So we're here on the Perry Punch show with the first three-man ever. You guys see it on YouTube right now or what?
I see it. I got it.
It's looking nice. It's looking nice.
Looks clean. Looks clean.
So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We got a good show today. There's been some crazy news recently. Waldo Cortez Acosta is getting overshadowed with Isaac Dulgarian's fight fixing scandal. But wait a minute. Before we even get started, I just want to go down the list. You got me, Jacob, right? The host of Perry Punch, the owner. We got DJ MTK, longtime host of the program, sitting there in the middle. And then we
Hey,
got I Am Saturday.
hey,
He
he's
joined
holding
us
down the
2
fort
weeks
for the East
ago.
Coast, bro. He's holding down the fort for the East Coast.
Our East Coast representative, I Am
Hey.
Saturday. So I want to
Hey.
introduce the host real quick.
We're finally coast to coast.
That's right.
That's true.
East Coast to West Coast.
Good.
All right, boys. So, anything that's standing out to you Saturday or MTK about what's been going on with the stuff we've been seeing? Dana White talking about the FBI and shit like that. Which one you want to talk about first? That or Cortez
I kind of want to
Acosta?
talk about let me talk about Waldo for a second
Okay.
because last time we were on here, DJ MTK, dude, you missed this. We did what was our last podcast length? It was like an hour and 45 minutes.
It was 2 hours,
It was-
pretty much exactly.
yeah, it's crazy. But during that, you and I ate up like probably 20 minutes of that podcast talking about fight ending sequences and eye pokes and just how it's been handled recently because we were fresh off the Jake Matthews Neil Magny thing. We were fresh off of the Matt Frivola, Matt Nelson. That was like specifically what we talked about. And then, dude, then you and
next
I
card.
ate up like
It happened
probably 20
again.
minutes of that. But a lot of people are kind of chastising how that was handled, like the stoppage. And I kind of think that played directly into what you were saying, Jake. Like you were saying that like replay should be better utilized during fight ending sequences, yada, yada, yada. And I actually thought like I'm probably in the minority here, but I thought that was handled really well. Like accidental foul, eye poke into a review by Mark Smith. And then they restarted the fight. Now, I do think that that needs to be there needs to be an option for the fighter who committed a foul to then say, yeah, like I want a no contest here, or just to be like, I'm out, like I'll take the no contest because adrenaline dumps are a real thing, right? So it's like that guy needs to have that luxury, although he committed a foul, to be like, yeah, like I'm not going back in here after seemingly knocking this guy out.
So you kind of felt like they should have gave him the option to, after Acosta said I'm down, you feel like they should have walked over to D'Elia and be like, yo, are you down to continue as well?
Well, bro, dude, like look at how that turned out for him. He went from seemingly winning by a knockout. He thought the mind works in weird ways, man. So you think you win by knockout, you're on this high, and then all of a sudden they're like, just kidding, and you have to like get back into a fight. He was knocked out less than like 30 seconds later. You know,
Yeah,
that's crazy.
it's a tough one for me in that case. I'd have to consider it a little bit more because I'm still a little bit like upset with D'Elia for trying to get in what I think was a little bit, you see a lot of fighters, right, with the eye poke situation, and maybe like 2 out of 10 times the guy really presses them, but a lot of times the opponent, if their opponent is accusing them of an eye poke, they'll start backing off.
Right.
So
Yeah.
D'Elia pressing him forward like that, I'm like, dude, you fucking like maybe you deserved to just let the fight continue because you did all that. Like you
I know.
if that
So
didn't
you're like-
happen, you wouldn't have thought you got a finish. You tried to get a cheap ass finish.
Right. And again, like that, I actually, dude, it looked like I know Tom got poked really bad.
Hmm.
Dude, that eye poke looked, in my opinion, worse than the Aspinall eye poke. Like that was for sure really in the eye of Waldo. Uh, so I don't know. There's a lot of intangibles that go into it. Just weird sequence, but
One other thing I would
I don't know.
add though,
Seems like we can't escape the judges and referee scandals.
yeah, because
Never mind the betting
this
scandal.
is what I was gonna add is like there's still people complaining about the fact that they even used a replay right after the fight got like waved off. They're like, if the fight gets waved off, you can't go to instant replay. But I like, regardless of what the rule says, this is the way they handled it. I thought was like pretty efficient. You feel me?
100%. Like that's how it's supposed to. Like I don't know if you remember this, but when they started making adjustments to the unified MMA rule set,
Hmm.
this is maybe like 5 or 6 years ago. John Anik or whoever would always open pay-per-views talking about the rule set, and he would always say that replay is only utilized within fight-ending sequences. In that, like, so that's been in place for a minute. It just seems like they never really
Use it.
utilize it, you
Hmm.
know? So it's like I feel like that should have been utilized more efficiently, at least in both Jake Matthews and Neil Magny. And it was just like, excuse me, Jake Matthews, Neil Magny, and Kyle Nelson, Matt Frivola. It just like wasn't like, what are we doing,
I
dude? At
know.
least they used it in the right way.
And then I think they're also saying that oh, a point should have been taken. There was no point taken, right? His eye was literally cut. Waldo Cortez Acosta says he has a cut on his eyeball, so it's actually worse than Aspinall. Because Aspinall's doctor didn't say he had a laceration on his eyeball, but Acosta said when his eye was getting reviewed, he had a cut on his fucking eye, like the actual fucking eyeball. No point was
Yeah.
taken. I feel like no stern warning was even given. That's where I feel like the mistake happened in that. I would have liked to see a point or a stern warning at the very least given to Dalia. But it's like they're just like, oh, okay, resume it.
Yeah, I think it was just so much chaos in the sense that like Mark Smith probably just had so much going on because if you remember like dude, it felt like it always feels like forever in between if a fight ends, right, and
Mm-hmm.
then they start reviewing stuff, it feels like an hour goes by during that, but it's really probably like 30 seconds. But if you're the ref in that scenario, it feels like there's so much time elapsing. So you're probably rushed to make those decisions and it kind of just got like lost on them. I do think like I don't necessarily know how we can not take a point in that scenario. And also taking a point in that scenario helps Ante because he's going to push for a finish more,
Mm-hmm.
right? Even if he just kind of got quote unquote robbed in his mindset of one, a point being deducted is just going to make him far more likely to be more aggressive and to chase a finish and not end up on the scorecards down a point.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Okay, I got you. MTK, any thoughts on the
You know, that might have been one of the craziest sequences in a while. And
mm-hmm.
I think, Saturday yourself just kind of referenced just what we've seen these past probably 2 months. There's been a lot of just weird, end of the round. No, it's not the end of the round. Tap. No, it's not a tap. Eye poke. I am glad that they were able to utilize the replay. This is the first time too. I think I were like, okay, they're actually utilizing it.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually yes, let's do this. But what you said Saturday about so much chaos. It's almost like you also need another layer. Like you need a head ref. Hey, I got this. Make sure the fighters are okay. We're gonna make a decision over here. We just looked at the replay. I'm making that call and taking you out of that equation. Like you need another layer, like a buffer for these guys that are in the heat of the moment, because a lot can happen in the heat of the moment.
Dude, you know how the NFL sends like specific plays to New York and then they have like a New York review? I think they need that for both judging and refs. There needs to be someone that's just entirely removed because the environment sometimes plays a huge role in the way that judges score fights, right? If there's a heavy crowd bias towards one of the fighters and every time they land a shot and the crowd freaks out,
Oh yeah.
exactly, it's impossible for the refs to, excuse me, the judges to not pick up on that eventually. So I do think there's people always talk about the way to critique or just fix judging and refing. I do think it's imperative that there needs to be judges ringside or cage side. I do think obviously there needs to be a ref within the cage, but I think there needs to be some sort of external body of both refs and judges at a third party location that somehow handles reviews and additional scoring. I think like maybe even, like two additional judges move to a five judges scoring system, and two of them are not at the location. I think would be useful in some capacity.
Like, are you saying like an upper box or something like that, or?
No, not even it would outside of the location, like not like a permanent. The way that the
Like
NFL
almost
has
at the
set up.
UFC headquarters almost.
Exact something like that. Yeah, just totally away from the arena and in a world of their own. In
Do
like
they
a war.
listen to the broadcast and shit like that, or would they not?
No,
And you're-
I would take
no,
that away too. I
Yeah,
would,
yeah,
I
yeah,
would-
because that's what it sounds like you're kind of saying too. Like, just completely
no. They
null and
watch
void
a
of all
live
the other
stream.
distractions.
Yeah, live stream, no commentary.
Just
One
watching.
an additional ref and two other judges, and they have influence over the fight in some capacity or another.
Okay.
I think is like a way to at least even the odds or reduce the amount of discrepancies.
Gotcha.
Hey, what's up, Jew? What up, dog?
Yeah, what up, Jew? Thanks for the love, Jew. Thanks for tapping in. I was also gonna add because you said how Mark Smith, he forgot, right? Because there was a lot going on as far as like the point deduction. You're saying it might have slipped his mind, but that's why they should have a huddle, right? And there should be like, okay,
Right.
collectively, right? Acosta, he's gonna continue. Dalia getting a point taken, right? This many seconds left on the clock. Because even, right, they should do something where, like, you might reset the clock and stuff like that. That's another thing that could be overlooked. What time was on the clock before the stoppage, right? So we need to go through all these things, have a collective huddle, then the ref comes back and basically makes the announcement. But it's almost like the ref only has to make the announcement. All these other people are making these decisions and relaying it back to him on what he should do. Because he's got to focus on reffing the fight.
Exactly.
That's the
Yes.
sole
You know what?
purpose of him.
And I was gonna say too, that bell at the end of the, I don't know, it needs to be louder.
Especially
Yeah.
if Dan Mergliotta's fucking working that shit.
Yeah.
What the fuck's
Yeah.
going on with that? I mean, how much longer are we gonna let him get away with that
yeah,
shit
that is
after
take-
I've been exposing it?
That didn't take
Dude,
that long.
I actually, I'm usually all for like the refs or judges getting flamed like on Twitter after. Dude, Dan got it so bad, dude. After the Kyle Nelson Matt Favola fight, MMA Guru made a whole like hour video on Dan Mergliotta. I was like, man, they are toasting this guy.
Yeah, bro.
I didn't know he was like deaf and shit.
I know, neither did I until fucking Bisping said it's common knowledge. Then I'm like, damn, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah, what are you doing in there?
Like, why hasn't this been stopped? Everybody knows about it?
Yeah.
That's crazy work, bro.
You
That's,
can't write that, dude. You can't even write that up. Oh yeah, we have deaf and blind refs in the UFC. It's like, what are we doing, man?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Get people that have all five senses intact.
And it's like, okay, maybe if you have a hearing problem and you haven't made a mistake related to hearing, okay. But it's like you claim to have a hearing problem and then you use excuses saying, damn, I just didn't hear the bell. It's like, okay, well, if you make one mistake, then get rid of him. How many more times is he going to be allowed to do this? 5?
yeah.
Yeah,
It's crazy work. But then on top of that, we already got into it. But it's like, Kevin Holland and shit like that. He's blatantly lying to Kevin Holland, telling him you'll get DQ'd and shit like that if you don't continue. That's not true. And then
Yeah,
ignoring Kevin Holland being like, okay, just fight, Kevin, when Kevin never gave the okay. I feel like 9 out of 10 refs would have been like, Kevin's not communicating with me. This has happened in the past. A fighter doesn't communicate. Maybe Johnny Walker. There was a fighter of recent memory who wasn't communicating and they called off the fight. It's like Dan Mergliotta just continued that shit.
Oh, dude, it was very recently. Who was that? He was not saying anything, and they ended up calling it.
Yeah, it wasn't Johnny Walker, was it?
No, it was. I forget.
Yeah, you remember later on.
Brutal.
I'll remember it
Yeah,
later in the
remember.
podcast.
If anybody remembers, drop it in the chat. Somebody fucking didn't respond to the ref and they called it.
I was gonna just say, just to end up with Waldo Cortez on my end. Sometimes, and I said this last time to Jacob. Some guys are hungrier than others.
Easily, dude. He's a dog for
Yeah.
going back in. 100%.
But how much
didn't
you
get enough
have-
credit?
Yeah, how much you have on the line, and how much you're just like, I just don't give a fuck. Like,
Coming off a loss too
right.
to
And
Pavlovich.
I love what Yuri's came out and said. I don't need both ties to fight.
Yeah, easy,
Of
dude.
course,
That guy's-
Yuri jumped in. You know what I mean? But
Did you see?
some
Did you
people
see what he said today
differently.
on Demetrius Johnson's podcast?
No.
Demetrius Johnson was asking him like a bunch of questions about how like what's his you know how he does all this psycho shit like he's swimming underneath ice and he does all these like he goes into the woods he's like this weird samurai dude that goes in the woods and just like kicks trees and whatever. Mighty Mouse gets on his podcast and he's interviewing him and he's like, "What's the craziest thing you've ever done in terms of like training?" And Yuri said that he did like 1-2 punching combinations for 24 hours straight.
Damn.
He just
24 hours?
he shadow boxed for a full 24 hours. He said it was the hardest thing he's ever done.
That man's crazy. Apparently he cuts weight with his mind.
He's different, bro. He's just built different.
He came onto the on Mighty Mouse's thing with a candle as his light source. I've been seeing just clips all day. All day. He cuts weight with his mind, candle as his light source, 1-2 punches for 24 hours. Like, how many fucking viral ass headlines can one man get without even trying? Without even fucking trying.
I think he's one of those dudes that's just gonna disappear into the abyss as well. Like after he fights, he's just gonna go be a hermit in like the forests of Japan or something like that, living in a cabin. Like
Yeah.
he's
At a monastery, probably. He'll be at a monk.
Yeah, he'll be a monk.
Or mortal, or like a kung fu fucking monastery, just like chilling.
A spiritual coach or something like that. If I got to go to anybody to teach me how to be happy in life, I might have to go to Yuri.
Oh, 100%.
Just that minimalistic, like all you need is yourself, isolation. At least once a month, I think about doing what Yuri does, just sit in total darkness and reset my mind.
He's have you been seeing his meals? He's doing this new thing where he posts his meals and it's like 4 eggs, some like weird meat mix up, and then one time he just posted it was a full onion uncooked, just cut in half, and the other one was like a full clove of garlic like
Jeez.
uncooked, cut in half, and he was just eating it.
Just like a raw food diet or some shit. Yuri's a crazy man. I was gonna add in because MTK talking about Acosta. Acosta apparently has multiple kids and a wife. They live in like a small apartment, so it's about that situation in life. And right now, I also heard a headline today. Acosta was basically like, "Yeah, I continued because I knew I was gonna get that check. You know, if I didn't continue, I was gonna get paid the same that I thought I was gonna get paid if I didn't win. If that makes sense, like." He needed that extra check. It was worth the gamble to go out there. But Tom Aspinall, you know, he's got a big guaranteed, you know, show money already. It might not be as worth it to him. But a guy like Acosta, he's like, listen, man, like, I got to do this even with a cut in my eye because I can't just go out here for show money. Like, I need that win money, too. I'm counting on that. Like, I've already almost spent that probably.
Yeah, that's why I heavily agree. Say what you will about fighter pay, but I actually really like the show win model. I think it does translate to fighters being more aggressive in aiming to win more. But I do agree to the point where it's like you're a champ. At that point, you know, you should push for guaranteed money. You'd be dumb to not push for guaranteed money, you know?
And as a champ, too, right? Devil's advocate as well. It's all right. It's all right if Aspinall has a lot more on the line to lose by continuing to fight Cyril Gane, right? Versus Waldo Cortez Acosta, it's pure upside, right? If he continues that fight, even if he loses, at least he still took that gamble of getting money that he desperately needs. Tom Aspinall, the downside of him losing to Cyril Gane if he continues is losing the heavyweight championship, right? Missing out on future pay-per-view points, which is like, what's the word? Paying dividends if you talk about stocks, right? It's that forever money when you get pay-per-view points.
Yeah.
So you're passing up on that just to continue. I'm just saying there's more merit for Tom to stop than there was for Waldo Cortez. So it's not apples to apples as far as like he continued. See, why didn't he continue? It's like, well, Tom has a lot more to lose and Waldo has a lot more to gain. Plus he has a lot more riding on the line too, as far as just feeding his kids and his wife.
Yeah, completely. And then also there's the element of like Tom not continuing fighting. To your point, with pay-per-view points, number one, pay-per-view model's going away with the Paramount deal, from my understanding. So it's like, how is that handled? That's a big question mark. And number two, I believe the only people that get pay-per-view points, from my understanding, the Conor McGregors of the world are probably like one-off, you know, maybe like Alex Pereira's, whatever. But I think only retaining champions get pay-per-view points. So if you have the belt, that's the only way you get the pay-per-view points, from my understanding. I could be wrong.
Yeah, if you lose that shit, you don't continue getting them.
Exactly. So it's like If you're Tom, Tom made the right choice.
Yeah, he
In
made the
my
right
opinion.
choice for sure. Because he's getting flack too, making it seem like it's apples to apples. Like, see, Waldo Cortez Acosta did it. Two different situations in life, honestly.
I love what Waldo did too. He started trolling. So smart.
So
Very
smart.
smart.
So
Very
Yeah.
smart.
smart.
And he's playing the game, right?
He's
That's
playing
how
the
you got to
game.
do it.
Hey, has Jacob gave you the like little 1, 2, 3, social media package with like what we need these fighters to start doing?
No, what is it?
Breakdown. Okay, well,
Yeah,
that'll
yeah.
be another
So I mean,
podcast.
we've kind of evolved with it, but basically the it's like I don't really appreciate it when fighters ignore the side of fighting in terms of promotion. Because you want to be a fighter, you should have identified that at some point before you got to the UFC that this is a part of promotion. It's no different than being like a fucking YouTuber. That's why too sometimes I'll get on DJ a little bit because it's like DJ, you're on YouTube and all of a sudden you get the game of promotion, but you didn't think that applied to you when you were in the UFC. That makes
You're
sense to
you're
you?
100%. It's the most underutilized and undervalued aspect of mixed martial arts. Like if you're not, take Sean O'Malley for example. Sean O'Malley, whether you want to admit it or not, both while he was champion and on his run to be a champion, was not the most talented 135er on planet Earth. I'm a firm believer in that. Huge O'Malley fan. Sean was the most promotable 135er on planet Earth. So that's like
Agree with you.
if you're not taking the steps to be a promotable fighter. Take Lerone Murphy, for example. That's a perfect example right now. Like Lerone Murphy just had a highlight reel, probably going to be straight up the knockout of the year over Aaron Pico, and is undefeated and is not going to get a title shot right now. For one reason and one reason only, he's shit at promoting himself. When Lerone Murphy
Jacob
came,
hates that. Jake,
he's
don't get Jacob
horrible,
started,
dude.
bro. Don't get Jacob started. You will like fucking dig into these fucking fighters that don't do
It's
it.
fucking crazy,
Bro,
dude.
on my
It's like
homepage, I
Lerone
don't mean to
Murphy.
interrupt, but finish your point, but let me just say this. On my homepage, on my personal Instagram, the first post that's pinned is me rating Lerone Murphy's interview a 1 out of 10. His
He's
Octagon interview.
horrible. It's fucking horrible. And I get like, dude, Steve Garcia. So Steve, number one podcast I always listen to is Anakin Florian, and Steve Garcia just went on there this week, interviewed, and great dude, right? Lerone Murphy, also great dude, super humble. Dude, you're never going to get paid as a humble dude in this sport. Humility does not pay the mortgage in MMA, period. Be the loudest fucking guy in the room. And if you're 16, 17 and 0, knocking out Aaron Pico, who's was painted as God's gift to earth as this prospect coming into the UFC, and you hit him with a spinning back elbow and knock him out flatline cold as the knockout of the year probably, and you're not getting a title shot, you wouldn't get me off Twitter. I would never shut the fuck up until they give me a title shot. I would force their hand and be the loudest dude ever. It was the number one thing that I said after the knockout. I wasn't even like, yeah, I paid attention to the knockout. It was incredible. The number one thing that I said the following Monday when I was like recording my video for Twitter is like, Lerone, don't stop tweeting. Don't stop talking. Go on every podcast and scream that you deserve the title shot.
Yeah.
Because they're not just going to hand it to you. You're too quiet. Like,
He's the
what are you
featherweight
doing?
Sean Brady.
It's featherweight Sean Brady. Great dude. Another great dude, Sean Brady.
Great skills.
Sean Brady's getting better. Actually. Brady's getting better. Brady's getting better. He's Brady's better than both those dudes that we just mentioned, Garcia and Lerone Murphy. But
Yeah.
he started as that. But
And
he's
I
getting
think
pissed. He's getting pissed, which I like. from
Yeah,
Sean
what
Brady.
I don't like too is sometimes the guys will start like screaming out entitlement, right, once they're not getting opportunities. And again, it's like, well, dude, you didn't look yourself in the mirror and realize like you should have been promoting fights ago. You can't just wait till you beat Aaron Pico and just pop out and like be the man. Like you got to
Right,
be
and that's
building up
where-
your own fan base through time, like because I think a lot of these guys just rely on the UFC's fan base too. They think that like, oh, I get a lot of likes and attention off the UFC's cameras. That's just always going to stay there. And it's like 2 weeks removed from the fight, you ain't getting the same action. You don't got the same motion. You know what I mean? On your own socials without the UFC cameras. These guys need to learn how to create their own motion, right? And then once you can succeed, you got your motion combined with the UFC's motion, and we got double time.
Now we're
100%.
cooking.
Now we're cooking. But a lot of these guys, they only know how to rely on UFC motion. Because you get like 5K followers for a good knockout off of one fight. But then like those 3 months that you're off, like a month and a half after that fight, you don't got the same motion as you did. And you should if you have a real fan base. That motion shouldn't be dropping off within a month. You know? That's because you don't have your own fan base. You're relying on the UFCs and you got it twisted. Then you come out and you're like popping out thinking that everybody really fucks with you. It's like, no, they fuck with you when they see you on UFC cameras. But you don't got that fan base by yourself. So that's the thing. You got to bring something to the table. Like just because you capitalized on a lot of views on a UFC broadcast, it still doesn't mean you're bringing things to the table. These guys just don't look at it as intently. I don't know. They're training 5 different martial arts and shit like that. So it is what it is.
Do you know who David Cho is? He's done like a bunch of Rogan podcasts. He's like a famous Asian street artist that designed Meta's headquarters back in the day, and then he got stock in Meta and became like he's worth like $100 million. Crazy story for anyone that's looking for a great podcast. Go look up David Cho's first Joe Rogan episode. Either way, he always talks about he's an artist, right? So he's like super out there, not usually like my cup of tea. But he talks about like the reason that people don't go for things a lot of the time boils down to 5 separate things. It's like shame, ego, fear. There's like 2 other ones. I forget what it is. But fighters are heavily ego-driven people, right? Like you're never going to be a champion. You're never going to succeed in the sport if you're not so heavily bought into who you are and what you do.
Yeah.
And so I think that can actually impede on your ability to market yourself because you feel as if you're so good that like the promotion should be doing that when that's not the reality. The UFC has 600 people on their roster and they're going to pick their prize ponies. And if you're not one of them, you need to not shut up. You need to like tweet, do anything in your willpower to push your name out there or it's not going to happen.
Yeah. What's weird though is I see it a lot more in boxing where these guys can become stars. And that's where I want to know like where does boxing get that blueprint?
Boxing gets a blueprint because
like who's helping these young bucks? Are they just like smart as fuck?
I don't know. A lot of boxing is based on the zero in boxing. The undefeated record usually is what brings people to the next level in boxing, whereas that's not valued as much in MMA because there's so many ways to lose. So it's like regardless of necessarily who you are, as long as you have that untouched record at zero, like you look at like the Rolly Romeros and the Ryan Garcias and the whoever else of the world. Ryan Garcia is a little different. He's great at promoting. But the who else?
Like a Devin Haney, maybe the Vargas
Devin
brothers.
Haney, thank you. Perfect example.
But I think
Awful at
too,
promoting himself.
But I was just gonna say, I think too, like when you go all the way back to who's the dude that was a promoter with Mike Tyson? Why can't I think of his name?
Don King.
Hey, Don King, and I think he helped promote with Muhammad Ali, right? It's been such a blueprint for so long, that mouthpiece. You know, you gotta have a mouthpiece to go on this, and even I'm pretty positive the promoters like a Don King, even like the Mexican fighter that the promoter too. Why can't I think of his name? The one he's always doing crazy videos.
Yeah, he loves Coke. I forget his name.
Oscar De La Hoya.
Oscar De La Hoya.
But these guys are telling these guys like, hey, here's one piece of the package. Step 2 is that mouthpiece when you get on the mic. We need you to be a character. We need you to be outlandish, you know? And I think it goes back to what you've said this a lot of times. Like either their management teams, their people in their circle are not giving them that game. You know?
Dude, Devin Haney's dad is the one that pronounced like he's the one that's stepping on. He's Devin Haney's mouth.
Let me say one. Can I say one? Can I say one?
Yeah.
It's a question too, but it'll almost be if I were to give like a random answer, it would be like, are these guys more confident? Are they better at their craft? Is the reason why, some of these UFC fighters don't cross over because they're not as confident, because they're not as like good at their craft? Like Ryan Garcia, 16-time national champion in boxing before he's even like 18 years old. Like, of course he's going to have a bulletproof confidence. And that's going to translate. But, like, these UFC fighters, they don't know how to talk like their shit don't stink, really. Like, only a few can. Because a lot of them end up losing, which is fine. I'm not getting on them for losing. But it's just, is confidence tied into skill set in a way? And that's why people buy in? Because what does Rolly really have? He just beat Ryan Garcia. We fuck with him now, right? He gets good knockouts.
Yeah, I mean,
Devin
I don't know.
Haney,
I
he
think
ain't that good of a personality, but he
at
got that.
all,
Oh,
dude.
he beats
He's so good.
everybody. So it's like it just keeps going. He can capitalize on what he says. He says, "I'm gonna beat this guy." He beats this guy. He beat Lomachenko and shit. A lot of fighters, they talk up that game. They get to that fight, and then it doesn't pan out for them.
I think too, just to add in here, I think that we have to take in the MMA world, there's a lot more respect inside the gyms. Like
Mm.
a lot of them have that, karate, martial arts background where you still respect that fighter. So there's not a lot of like shit talking there.
It
But
can
you
still be taboo to some
I,
eyes.
but I guess it's more honorable when you're more respectful, right? But as an entertainment sports, there is that level of what you're saying. Like you have to have that mouthpiece on you because we see when the guys kind of come out and try to do it, and it seems so fake,
Mm.
But they're just trying to. It's a fine line.
Right. But
Because
because
look
when
at
you look at
Hulk doesn't come out and talk shit, but he's funny. Like he's doing cooking shit. He's doing this.
Right.
Like you're brought into his world, and you're not even knowing. For the people that don't even know he's a fighter, they're just entertained.
Dude, there's a lot of people. Volk openly admitted that a lot of people don't even know him as a fighter. They just they know him as like a YouTube cook. Like what the hell? That's the best fighter in the world. Like
right.
that's the best 145er in the world. There's also an element of talk about the YouTube game. It's like you set yourself up for a future as well after fighting. Like developing these social platforms, whether it's YouTube or Instagram or whatever it is, like you have an avenue to create success after fighting, which is imperative for these guys. Like
Hmm.
that needs to happen. I don't. There needs to be like some sort of education system from the UFC to better build these dudes.
All right, can we get into this gambling?
Yeah, let's get into the gambling. Let me go ahead and just kind of break it all down for you guys real quick. Give
And
the
when does it?
preface.
Shout out to Steve Garcia, great win.
Shout out to Steve Garcia, great win. So the gambling situation is kind of as follows. Bets started coming in on Isaac Dulgarian, who was a big favorite to lose that fight, right, in the first round. So they bet him from like a minus 220 down to like a minus like 120 or something like that, minus 150, something along those lines. But on top of that, bets started coming in on his opponent, Del Val, to finish him in the first round. They bet that from like plus 850 to plus 550. So it was a very particular bet, finish in the first round on both ends. Dulgarian lose, and then Yadier finish him in the first round. And that's exactly what happened. Fast forward, we find out the UFC was made aware of this beforehand. Yesterday, Dana White comes out and he says, yeah, we went up to Dulgarian. We asked him if he was going to fix the fight. He said, fuck no. So we let the fight go through. As soon as the fight ended, just how everybody predicted and bet on it, we called the fucking FBI. Now Dulgarian has been cut, although they don't use that as a reason for his release. But Ariel did confirm on his show he had more fights left on his deal. So before anyone says, oh, maybe he just didn't have any fights left, no, he had fights left. They cut him. Wasn't a release, right? Or it wasn't that they didn't re-sign him. He got cut or released. And that's the situation.
And he was originally favored to win, right?
He was originally favored to win, and then they started betting down big though, minus 220 all the way to minus 150.
Yeah. You go Saturday. I know you're more on the gambling side.
Yeah, he was so he was a minus. He was higher than a minus 220. He was like a minus two. He was close to a minus 300.
Okay.
You guys are I mean, he's a fucking idiot. Like, where do you even go with this? Number one, he definitely fixed the fight, in my opinion. He was Isaac Dulgarian is too good to be making the mistakes that he made within the fight for it to not be fixed. Like the guy is a world-class grappler, right? If we're talking about,
For the
I don't
record,
know.
it says minus 240, just to put it out there. 240 to
Okay.
minus 130, so.
Yeah, either way. He right, like Isaac Dulgarian has made a career in mixed martial arts off high-level grappling, and the mistakes that he was making would never be made by a high-level grappler. It's impossible. But what confuses me is this scenario with Dana White where Dana White approached the Dulgarian camp and was like, "Hey, what's going on here? Crazy action, dude! Did you see the handle, the amount that was on him at one casino?
Hmm.
Did you see the amount?
Yeah.
16 million.
A
$16 million
prelim fight?
on a prelim fight on an Apex card was placed on Yadier Delvia or whatever his name is. I don't know how to pronounce his name. 16 million, and that was scattered across a few separate things. But some people were taking a lot of rear naked choke in round one, like props. A lot of people were on round one at plus 850 for Delvia, whatever. It's just my thing here is if you're in the Dulgarian camp and you're approached by Dana White, which Dana White's not approaching prelim fighters on an Apex card about anything, and he
Right.
says, "Hey, what's up with this?" and you still go forward with fixing it, it's just you have to be a different level of stupid. Period. I just don't understand it. So, in my opinion, number one, definitely fixed. Number two, justified to cut the guy. Number three, he's an idiot for doing it because Isaac Dulgarian's a crazy talented mixed martial artist who had a very high ceiling, in my opinion. And number four, he might be a mob boss in prison, bro, because he has a good skill set, and I don't know if anyone's touching him in prison. So
Is
it's
he
like,
getting locked up? Because I was gonna kind of like touch on that. Is that locked
uh,
up worthy?
if he's proven guilty, without question. Did you see all the stuff with the NBA, like Terry Rozier and Chauncey Billups and
Yeah, but I'm
all
not
that stuff?
super well versed in it. I know about it, but I don't know like
Yeah.
any penalties or if anybody's facing jail time or if anybody's been arrested.
I think Rozier probably would be over Chauncey Billups, but like, bro, that's the FB, the real world FBI. That's the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
Hmm.
That's big time crimes, dude. So they don't fuck around,
Well,
man.
yeah, and they arrested mob members as well in that whole sting. So I mean, that had a whole sting going on and
Yeah.
shit. So that was pretty serious. Just to kind of jump in here real quick, my thing about the there was a few things. Ariel, what he said, and then what Dana said on TMZ. One, when he came and he went and talked to him, and he said, I feel like everybody just brushed this by. Oh yeah, they talked to him and his attorney. I'm like, how many fighters are having attorneys with them in their training room or
That's
on
what
the
I thought too. I'm like, how'd you get his attorney on the line so quick? And how does he even have an attorney?
yeah, and so
Like a
I'm like,
Dulgarian?
right, and I'm thinking to myself like, they can barely afford health insurance. We've already discussed this. They can barely afford to fucking like, their training camps and shit. They're fighting for their lives. They're only getting paid what, $10,000, $15,000 on these prelims, right?
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
dude
he's
doesn't have
probably
a
still on his. He was
12
this
and
dude
probably
doesn't
12 or
still
have a
on his.
something.
this dude don't have no fucking attorney. Are you fucking well? So that was for me like step one. Like, what are we talking about here? Step two, they immediately called the FBI. I think that's good for optics, but I honestly don't think I honestly don't think they did it. I think
That
once
whole
everything, I think once everything started kind of going in, and then I heard somebody say too, like Patel, what is his name? Patel,
Cash
um,
Patel?
Cash Patel, been to the UFC. Dana can make a couple calls, right? Hey, whoa, hey, you know, so like I don't know what's really going on here, but it's just it's weird. And then to hear all the other fighters come out and say they've been approached, and then for them to say, and this is what I heard on Ariel's show, like, oh, fighters, they don't want to go like tell on people. Like, I was like, honestly, if someone approached you, wouldn't you think you would contact your manager, your lawyer,
Yeah, the way
your
I saw that was if it's really a throwaway comment, someone coming up to you, you wouldn't tweet about it. If it was really a throwaway comment, you wouldn't tweet about it. It was such a serious conversation you had that you're making a tweet about it years later, probably. So yeah, if that's how much of an impression it left on you, you probably should have told the fucking UFC. Because it
but
wasn't
more,
just walking by being like, hey, lose tomorrow and I'll give you 20K. And
right,
they just walk by in passing. It
right.
must have
No,
been a
but
conversation for you to tweet about that.
well, they made it sound like I was approached. Someone did,
Exactly.
someone did have this conversation with me. Maybe I denied it and said, "No, I'm not going to do it." But however, if you have more than here's my thing: if you have more than 3 or 4 fighters coming out and saying this, I don't know how many they're saying. Some people said 100, some people said 20. I don't know what the number is. I think over five, something's going on here. Some weirdo shit's going on that I'm not aware of. And then now we're seeing all like what you guys were talking about the refs. Like something is going on here. I've never seen this before in sports, and I don't know if it's because of all the online betting is now been, being pushed, and so people are finding these wiggle rooms to try to play the
No,
system.
I think that's exactly what it is.
Yeah,
And I think the wiggle
it's
rooms,
the growth of online gambling for sure.
yeah, I think it's a combination. You got the online gambling, right? And these guys are going to find any hole they can. And when you pay the referees on two ways, right? When you pay the referees a low salary, and then on top of that, you give the referees all the control. And on top of that, there's no consistency with groin strikes and eye pokes and fouls, right? And then take that with the referees. Then you take the aspect of fighters not getting paid a decent living wage. Like, there are so many holes in the system that allow for somebody to come in and basically say, like, hey, man, I'll give you 50K to lose the fight, right? When would that really happen in boxing? I mean, maybe it does. I'm not going to use that as an example, but I'll say it like this. It shouldn't happen, right? No fighter, no professional UFC fighter should be, even 70K shouldn't be a bribable number, right? You're a
Yeah,
professional
the thing
UFC
here is,
fighter at the
I just
highest
don't think
caliber.
it's. I don't think it's exclusive to the UFC. I think this is just. I think it's across all sports. Like, there's probably people when you say quote unquote approached,
Mm-hmm.
it's probably not in person. First off, no one's like walking up and saying that. It's probably all online through DMs or whatever, and people are saying this, that, and the other thing. But they probably blanket send that to hundreds of athletes with the intention of gaining one, and then you get one athlete to commit, and then from there you figure out how to bet over unders or whatever. But like the
Well, bro,
six
DM is crazy because that person's going to jail for sure.
exactly. So then you got to get creative with not figuring. Yeah, it's great.
We
Yeah.
got a paper
Wow.
trail.
Yeah,
You're getting locked up if you're out here sending DMs. That's fucking crazy work.
I know.
But yeah, I mean, I guess it might not only be in the UFC because it's happening in the NBA. I think referees get paid a little bit more there. But what I'll say is that there are more holes in the UFC to allow someone to come in and cheat than there is in probably any other sports organization.
Yeah, I mean, like you gotta go back too, dude. This has been an issue for a long time since before this. Like they had the referee fixing scandal in the NBA in the '90s or early 2000s. They had like college basketball being fixed a while back with like players accepting bribes. Like all this stuff is
Yeah.
not new. It's
Mm-hmm.
just more prevalent, being that online gambling is more accessible to the general masses
And
now.
it's newer to the UFC, hearing people
And there's
getting
more avenues to bet
it's
and everything.
it's like one thread was pulled, right? And then a bunch of other little shit just started trickling down from this one story and this one example, and it's exposing maybe a bigger problem. I mean, if I were the UFC, and just kind of like what Saturday said, I mean, if I were the UFC, I'd contact all my employees and be like, you need to notify us immediately if you got a DM like that. Like, moving
Right.
forward,
Yeah.
blank statement, like managers, whoever, like, we are literally, we want to know right now. If you've
Mm-hmm.
been approached too, we want to know right now.
That's
Because
that's the only way to bite it in the ass, is that you need to say, like, you need to draw a line and say, like, you're in the wrong if you don't notify us having been approached. That's the only way. It's like, even if you're found that someone even approached you and you did not bring it to the UFC's attention, like, that comes with repercussions.
They're probably getting cut.
oh
Probably
yeah,
getting cut. Yeah, you know?
You can't
well,
even
there,
really trust them. Like, even if they tell you they don't know, you're definitely not going to believe them, right? Do
and
they
there's
want to snitch?
and there's something to be said, right? So let's just think about this. Like, out of what, how many events they have a year? I don't know, 48,
Well, there's
36.
52 weeks in a year. I don't know. Call it like 45 or something. I don't know.
I think it's 36. It's like average three events a month. So that's 12 times three. Let's just say 36.
Okay.
Of those 36, there's what, 12 fights? Out of those 12 fights, you probably have six prelims. If you were to take all those fights, you're probably talking about a plethora of like 100 fighters that they have tried to approach because they're like, well, maybe no one will care about these fights. These will fall in between the cracks.
Mm-hmm.
Like this, but we're making money, and that's a hustle in a hustle. Kind of like what Saturday is saying, like that is a hustle in a hustle right there. And I mean, it sounds like, I mean, it's a bigger problem than I think the UFC ever imagined.
Yeah. No, I
And to
think
have
so.
Patel in his back pocket, I wouldn't say back pocket, but I'm not going to say not back pocket.
Saturday, could you just go a little bit more center?
I just said it. Maybe Patel's not in his front pocket, but in his back
Good.
pocket, because I think he could have that conversation with Patel and be like, "Hey, look at before you really look into this. Let me know what you find.
Mm-hmm.
Did I move that the wrong direction?
No, that's the right direction. Maybe even just a
Okay.
tad bit more.
All right, we're back.
Yeah, yeah, you're good. Well, look at yourself. Yeah, it's better now.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
I have no idea. I'm only seeing the top view, but I know you're triple screen, right?
Yeah. I want to say something about the how the fight was allowed to like go through, and it was in regard to Dulgarian. Like, why wouldn't he? Right? If the UFC gave him the opportunity to speak up, why wouldn't he? And this just goes to my conversation I had with Harry Mack yesterday. Harry Mack was kind of saying maybe he had crossed a bridge too far, and there's people who are relying on this money. He's been so committed already to committing this crime, and the money's been bet and all that shit. Even if he wanted to come clean to the UFC, like we just discussed at the beginning of this topic, there was 16 million already placed on the fucking fight, right?
Yeah.
And the
This
UFC
is
gave him the
always
opportunity, but I think he
it's
felt
all
that pressure of 16 milli.
it's almost always a product, from my understanding, in these situations of owing money. Like you
Mm.
owe, so you get into a hole to a book, you have no way to pay it off, and then they figure out like this guy's an athlete, like you're gonna fucking pay it off doing it this way, or someone in your family gets hurt,
Uh,
or it's like
How
so
can we
it's
lean on
it's
you?
probably it's I don't want to make assumptions, who knows, but the thing here is it's like number one, the guy about a year ago or less was calling for um, gambling companies to give a percentage to athletes based on the amount that was wagered on their
brother, that
fights
wasn't a
previously.
year ago. That was days ago.
Was that days ago? I thought
That
it
was
was. I thought
fight
it was the
week.
same point in time in 2024. I could be. I have no idea. Could be wrong, but
No, I'm pretty
at
sure
the
that's a
same
fight
point in
week
time, it's
interview
like
from this
that's
last week.
that. Yeah, yeah. That's like textbook behavior of someone that's probably down, has no way to pay money back, goes and gets a guy to gamble through on a credit line, goes down way too much. It's just like no way to pay it back. And then those people, based on experience, get fucking pissed when you don't pay back. So it's like you're gonna figure out a way to do it.
So you're
And
talking about one of these bookies that kind of loans you like a 10K credit line. He went through that
any
10K
book that
credit
you
line.
yeah, I mean any book that you go through that's not a DraftKings or something that's like officially sanctioned,
The
it's all
homie.
based
That's why
it's all
people
based
like
yeah.
those because they don't
Yeah,
got the bread to bet. They go on that credit line thinking they're geniuses. That's the other
right.
side. They think they're smarter than they really might be.
Or they're trying to get themselves out of a hole without having to like liquidate cash or something like that. So they take a credit line,
Mm-hmm.
they bet way out of their like financial means, and then just about every single one of these books operates. It's like, okay, Tuesday rolls around, that's when we settle up. And so Dulgarian probably had a couple fucking rough Thursdays, Tuesdays, whatever it is. That also allows him
You had a rough
to
Saturday.
get a
Yeah.
rough Saturday, dude, that also allows him, but we're making crazy assumptions here. Who knows if Dulgarian even gambles or what, but that
No, but
also
we're
gives
just
him the
debating.
luxury to gamble.
Why he didn't
That
tell
gives
the
him the
UFC.
that gives him the luxury to gamble on UFC fights as well. Because
You
if
know
you're
what
going through an illegal book, you're not as a UFC fighter, you're not allowed to wager on the UFC. But
Uh,
if he thinks he knows a lot on the UFC and he wants to wager, you have to go through a guy to wager.
Right.
yeah,
And so
because
it's
it's
just
all off
probably
the books, right under the
what's
table.
all of the books.
Yeah,
So
interesting.
I was wondering, has he came out personally and said anything?
No, not since the fight. No statement.
Okay.
that's good legal advice, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Now he has a lawyer.
Yeah, yeah.
Now he has a lawyer.
You should not say fucking anything.
Yeah, and then the whole James Krause connection, it just adds to the story.
What's that
Yeah.
connection?
Well,
What
because
happened?
James Krause is the one who he's basically been completely banned from coaching any fighters in the UFC. People can't even train with him, because he got caught for like being connected to an offshore betting account, like being like an insider,
I love
giving
all
insider
this.
information.
I love this shady shit.
And then Derek
Dude, he
Minner, one of his
was
fighters, threw a fight too, faking like he had a knee injury. And the same thing happened. There was a lot of money to come in on him losing in a certain round than he did.
dude, James Krause was one of those like he actually wasn't a bad fighter either. Like I don't know if you
No,
guys
he was
remember
pretty
when James
good.
Krause was fighting, but like he was one of those like weird he was almost like a game management quarterback where he was just like really good at kind of like maintaining because he's a coach, right? He reminds me of Trey Ogden. He reminds me a lot of Trey Ogden, like just very, very technically sound and very like high fight IQ. And it just doesn't make sense to me. Last time I saw him, he was on Facebook trying to like tell people how to flip houses by
I
taking out
know.
credit lines through. It was like, dude, this guy's just he's just a fucking shady ass dude.
It's like, okay, you want to be a coach, right? Then you're teaching people how to gamble. Now you're teaching people how
Yeah,
to buy houses. I'm
it's
seeing a
like
common denominator here. Like, you seem to, want to be the one who knows it all
yeah,
in every
I
situation.
don't know.
He was a good fighter, though. I'll give him that, and he was a good gambler. I used to take his picks and shit like that. So he is, I don't know. He's kind of smart, even though he seems like a dumbass too.
He was sharp. He was good at gambling. A
No,
little
he
too
was like
good.
my favorite
Little too
person to
good.
watch gamble. I had the best picks from him
Yeah.
You knew a
out of all
little
the
too
people.
much. You knew a
Huh?
little too much.
Yeah.
A little too much. Makes you wonder why
Well,
are these
he
picks
with
so
his
good?
information and with his expertise, I think he
Yeah,
got arrogant with it, and he started
yeah,
kind of
for sure.
going for too
100%.
much. Yeah. I want to shout out Tuxedo for the $5 donation. Tuxedo goes, I'd like to find some wiggle room between Mackenzie Dern's capital cheeks.
Oh, this guy.
Hey, Tuxedo, I don't know if there's too
Boink.
much wiggle room between those cheeks, but I want to know one
Boink.
thing, Tuxedo. Are you a BBL or a natural booty type guy? Drop it in the chat. BBL, natural booty type guy. I want to know.
Yeah, just put that up as a poll real quick.
BBL or natural booty. Um. Well, okay. Well, then the other big topic of the week is
I
this
was
whole.
I was gonna say one thing, just on Steve Garcia real quick.
Okay.
Great win. The boy got hands. They're heavy, real heavy hands, right?
Mm-hmm.
I worry. I want to know where his ground game is. Like, you know me, I get super excited when I see these like great knockouts, and then I see guys get tested on the ground. I'm like, oh, you're not going to be in that top three. So I want to see what he does on the ground.
That's a good question.
I'm really
also.
worried because I think his next matchup is going to be like an Aljo or someone. I think they do exactly that. I think they throw him a really really strong.
No, I
ground
want
game.
what's his name? The guy, the guy that was,
Avoyev?
the guy that was in his corner, for Onama.
The one that was in Onama's corner. You think it's going to
Yeah.
be Zalal?
Zalal, yes.
I would love to see that fight.
Okay.
I think
Or-
that'd be unreal.
Or
Yeah.
Gene Silva.
I called for. I want Yair, dude. I want Yair.
He can
Rodriguez.
fight anyone, in my
That fight's
opinion.
so sick.
See, but I mean, Yair would be a good. I don't know. I don't know if Yair would take that though.
You kill two hypes if you give him Silva because Silva
Yeah, I
would be
see
on
what
a
you're
two
saying.
fight.
I see
Silva
what
would be on a 2-fight losing streak, and you would kill the 7-fight win streak from.
Yeah, I get that. That make that. If I was a matchmaker, I'd say that too. Like,
Yeah.
So what about
Dude,
Zalal? Is that his name, Zalal?
I think Zalal makes a
Zalal.
lot of sense.
Yeah,
I
I like
texted.
Zalal. Zalal's a grappler too. It would be a good test.
Yeah,
Did he
100%.
just get that early submission?
Yeah.
And Zalal was the one I was talking shit before because he was always be like,
Yeah.
he's running
Skirting with
almost.
Calvin
Yeah,
Kattar.
he's always running and shit, like in and out, winning by points. So
They both beat Kattar by unanimous decision. So I'd like to see them kind of like run it.
and you could run it too since he was in that corner. Like you just saw your boy get knocked the fuck out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say though to MTK's dropping Aljo, or I think Saturday somebody said
Saturday.
Aljo.
Saturday.
You beat Aljo. That's probably like the biggest statement win that Steve Garcia can get in the division. Because
Yeah.
like we said, we've seen the striking, so him beating a Yair would be like just proving to me that he's still a good striker. I like to see these boxes checked off. Okay, you fought a striker, you beat him. Okay, you fought a grappler, you beat him. Right? You fought a former champion, you beat him. I like to hear these things get checked off the boxes because then when they go up against a former champion, I can say he beat Aljo. Right? When he goes up against a grappler, I can say, oh, he beat Aljo. So it gives me more context. So I would think Aljo's the biggest statement win. But as Zalal, I'm even thinking like an Arnold Allen would be nice. But that would tell me the most about him, Aljo.
Yeah.
100%. There is because there's a massive. You go through that entire list. Nuremberg, he beat, is actually a really pretty solid wrestler. That was I've said it on a few different videos, but that was the only guy that I bet on this entire streak against Steve Garcia. I bet Nuremberg, and Steve Garcia fucking ran through him. Dude, like I am so overwhelmingly impressed by this guy because I said this on Twitter, but the guy usually these long dudes for the division in Garcia, take Garcia for example,
Hmm.
are point fighters. Like they're the Adesanyas of the world, right? Really good at distance management, really good at maintaining the fight, doing damage when they can outside from distance. Take a look at Sean Woodson. Um, and Steve Garcia has that, but he also weirdly uses really solid forward pressure and he carries power for his length and he's huge. And he has good durability, dude. So it's like it's weird. He's an anomaly, and if he can grapple, and if he the only other question too is if he can go 5 rounds.
Hmm.
Um,
Where's his
if he can do
cardio at?
both those things, absolutely insane. Dude, just funny side story. I texted after the fight. I texted my buddy from Albuquerque, Mexican dude that I went to college with, really good friend of mine. And I'm like, dude, I don't know if you. I got the text in front of me, but I was like, dude, I don't know if you, this name rings a bell, but the UFC has an absolute stud. His name's Steve Garcia. He grew up in Albuquerque. This kid's from Albuquerque, and I was like, he's around our age. He headlined his first fight this weekend, and he just responds. He goes, "Not all Mexicans know each other, Joe."
That's a good
He's
one.
like,
I
he's like,
like
not all Mexicans know each other. And he goes, I'm just kidding. I looked him up. He looks really familiar. And then he goes, other than meth, Albuquerque puts out some pretty good fighters.
Yeah, they do. Albuquerque's a hotbed. There's nothing to do out there. That's why it seems.
Yeah.
But look, he did jump and he called out after the fight at ESPN. He called out Brian O'Decker and Josh Emmett. He said he wants their name, but he jumped above them, and so he's right under Zalal. He's right under Arnold Allen and Aljamain Sterling. So
Arnold Allen's another sick matchup. That'd be cool.
It'd be a cool one. So let me get into something with you boys.
yeah, I'm
Something.
done that's all I wanted to say about that.
Okay, speaking of the card, I got in some hot water with Themba Grimbo. Some hot fucking water. I don't know if you guys saw anything about it.
Themba, okay.
You
Themba,
did?
I got in some hot water with Themba. Back and forth
With
action
Themba himself?
with Themba himself.
Is it
Didn't
about the
he
charitable
lost,
donation
right?
thing?
Yeah, because I did it. Yeah, he lost. And then, so basically, I posted a video the day of his fight about him abandoning the well project. Not the well project, but the library project. And as soon as he lost, he went on YouTube and watched my video and commented on it, being like, you should have asked me, blah, blah, blah. And so I told him, like, well, sorry I didn't ask you, but your Instagram's been deleted. Like, I went to go reach out to you, but the Instagram was gone. And just a little bit of context, me and Themba have done interviews in the past, too.
Oh, okay.
We did
All
two
right.
interviews,
Yeah,
so that's why he
that's an
should.
asterisk.
Yeah, so
Dude.
that's why he's like, you should have reached out to me. And then, long story short, I told him I would take down the video, right? And then, like, I rewatched the video, and I'm like, dude, I didn't say anything that bad. Like, your story is your story. Like, I can't hide it. Like, this is my job, you know. And so
Yeah.
I cut out a couple things where I might have misspoke, right? Trying to like, conjecture, like guessing a little bit. I told him I'll cut these parts out, but I'm gonna re-upload the video. And he lost his shit, just going off on me, bro, off on me, telling me I'm gonna face God and shit like that.
Wait. Wait, where? Where was he going? In
what
the
he
He told me I
comment
gotta
section or
face
what?
God. Well, in the comment section, yeah, but then he reactivated his Instagram and he went off on me more on Instagram and he started sending me pictures of his fight kits. I mean, so once he started going off on me more, I just went in for it. So he's sending me pictures of the fight kits, right? He's sending me pictures of the fight
I
kits.
love that. I love that move, dude. Burn the boats.
I
Keep
burned the
going.
fucking boat. He went off on me to such an extent. I'm like, listen, there's no point in saving this anymore. So I told him the truth. I'm like, look, bro, you keep sending me these fight kits, but that's not the problem. People think that the money you got from these fight kits, you pocketed instead of delivering on the project you promised. And I was like, and also when you lost to Vicente Luque, your whole country was celebrating your loss. So that's why people also think that you didn't deliver on these promises, because why would your countrymen celebrate your loss? And then like he went off again on me. He went off again on me, and then I just left him on scene.
Yeah. Magic M, I think his name is on
Magic
Twitter.
bets, yeah.
I could be getting it wrong. I don't. He does a show with Nick Davis, who I know, but somewhat barely, just through the internet. And he was toasting Themba throughout the entire fight week.
Yeah, he
going
was.
off on him about being fraud and robbing people out of money and not delivering on the promises and everything. That's so funny that he kind of went off on you. I love that move on your part of just like, all right, we're too far gone, just go for it.
Like it's done. The relationship is toast.
There's no solving this. Like there's like the bridge is burned, just keep going.
Yeah, but I'll just add to it real quick. So he claims that the library to kind of like, because now that he's been going off on me, I have like a little bit more insight on everything. So it's like he's been accused, right, of taking fight kit money making promises. So this is what he does. He says like, I'm selling off this fight kit to do this for my country, right? Which entices people to give him more money for the fight kit. And then they're saying he didn't deliver on the promise, right? So keep that in mind, right? But now that he says that the library got torn down after being 3/4 built, 3/4 now, not 1/4, 3/4 built, then he tore it down. He's like, but I didn't use fight kit money for that.
Yeah, the whole
So
message.
it's like the one project that you've announced failed. The one project you announced failed. Everybody's accusing you of using fight kit money and pocketing it. This one you didn't use fight kit money. The one project that we know failed. Is that a little bit convenient? We don't know. But that's why he's getting shit.
The whole message didn't make sense either. It was like kind of broken English a little bit. The Facebook thing, that's the only thing that I saw of him talking about it. And it was kind of just misleading and all over the place. And he was like, even though I have the best intentions, people don't want it to succeed. And this whole thing, it's like, that sounds a lot like backtracking after getting money from, charitable nation. I don't know the situation. I don't want them to hate me like he
No,
hates
but
you.
on top of that though, so Themba also puts in there, this is my biggest hole in Themba's thing, is that he goes, I had to spend a lot of my money out of pocket to pay for this library because the fight kit money didn't come in as I expected it to, right? And so that right there shows that yes, you were relying on fight kit money, just people don't buy your bullshit anymore. Like you wanted fight kit money, that's why you announced you're going to build a library. Do you see what he's doing? Like if he doesn't, let me put it like this. If he just says he's selling off his fight kit, nobody's buying it. You guys get that part?
I don't know. I also don't know how much money we just talked about prelim fighters and the issues with pay and easily bribed. It's like, how much is a Themba fight kit going for?
Well, that's why he says I'm going to build a library so he can get a headline. Then people start to come in and he'll get like 15, 20K for it. And then when you don't deliver on that library, right? But then so conveniently he goes, but this library, no fight kit money was used for it. Well, it's like, did you even sell the fight kit? Like we want to know that. But again, it's so hard to trace this shit with Themba. Like, how do we know how much he sold his last fight kit for? How do we find that out?
Yeah, I don't know. You don't.
We don't know. So it's all assumptions, I guess. But he's definitely being accused.
And he definitely got a loss.
He looked better though, and I scored it for him, to be honest with you guys. How'd you score it? It was a close fight.
I scored it for, I bet.
I don't think he did enough.
Go ahead,
didn't think so?
Sorry.
I was just going to say, I didn't think he did enough.
What'd you think?
Me?
Yeah.
I thought he lost. And I bet him.
Okay.
Yeah, I bet Themba. I thought I was never on the Themba hype train in the first place. I actually bet Vicente's last fight. I just thought I have a very low opinion of Jeremiah Wells. He's just all he does is kind of burn out and then like explode in with a huge overhand right, and he doesn't necessarily have any other game plan. So I was like, if Themba's even remotely good, he's going to win this fight. And the only thing that I took away from that fight is that Themba's not very good at fighting. It's plain and simple.
Okay,
Sorry,
fair
like
enough,
it's
fair
true.
enough.
Like
I thought he
he's
looked a
not
little bit
he's not very
better.
good. Like he has a actually no, he doesn't even have that high of a ceiling because he's in his mid-30s. He has no real well-rounded skill set. He cardioed out against a guy with cardio issues. Striking's atrocious. He has no submission threat, and he's a grappler. It's like, what are we doing here? He's all due respect. It's just, I call it how it is. I put real money on these fights, dude. Like I'm not. That's the honest review of Themba.
No, I like
All
that
due
review.
respect. Great, seems like a great guy. Also seems like not a great guy if he's robbing people out of fucking money to build false libraries. So.
Yeah.
People are thinking, like, I see people saying, like, this guy doesn't even have a wife or kids. It's all bullshit. I don't know, bro. But people are on his fucking ass. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, I don't. He has seemed like a genuine guy in the past. So who knows? But
Okay. All right, for sure. I got you, Joe.
okay.
Yeah, we'll
I would say this,
basically end the
he's
show.
about to dry the fuck up if you don't get a win, though. That like this is gonna be it.
Right, the star power is going to dry up.
Yeah, this is it.
To end the show, I wanted to go into a BJ Penn report. So let's just kind of react to this news story.
This dude.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, let me pull up the Instagram, but this is BJ Penn's 6th arrest of this year. This time for assaulting a man, 45 years old, where he lives in Hilo, Hawaii. And once again, he he gets arrested and he bonds out the same day on $1,000. But here's kind of the gist.
Did he drop a post yet?
Was that?
Did he drop a post yet?
He didn't drop a post yet, but it goes Hawaii Island Police
I can't
responded.
wait for when he drops it, dude. I love it. Dude, I feel bad. Sorry, before you read it,
Yeah,
I'm,
yeah,
I'm
go
going to
ahead.
cut you off here for a second. But, dude, leading into this, just for context, he was, he essentially put out a theory that the US government cloned his grandma, his abuela or whatever,
No, his
and
mom.
his mom, and then swapped his real mom with the clone to convince him of like whatever. The guy's
Trying to take his
outside of
money.
his
Trying to take his
fucking
money.
mind, dude. I feel bad because it's clearly like brain damage, fucking crazy shit. But he's also like running as for mayor of Hawaii and he's getting knocked out outside of strip clubs. Like BJ Penn is a train wreck, dude. But sometimes like the videos that he makes, he'll just like he has a restraining order against his own house that his parents live in. And so he'll go up like right to the yard line of whatever 300 yards. He's at like 301 yards. He's doing a video outside of it. He's like, "This is my house." Like he's screaming about being it's just crazy, crazy shit. I'm actually kind of happy you brought this up.
Yeah, BJ's a crazy motherfucker.
Oh,
We were
this is
trying to give him benefit of the doubt for a long
We really
time,
were.
but he lost it with us, you know. And when you go to that backstory too, like when I even saw him on the Joe Rogan podcast a while back, I'm like, what the hell? Like he too crazy to go on Joe Rogan. Like he's too crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Joe Rogan
That's-
gave him that platform, and he actually kind of like sold himself off as normal. But Joe tried to help him get elected as governor. I think that's what it was. But I low key thought that shit was a joke too. I'm like, how the fuck is this guy running for governor?
How are you
The
running
last video
for
I saw was him
governor,
getting
BJ?
knocked out outside of a bar.
I mean, Tito Ortiz, the count, dude. Tito Ortiz is local government where you guys are from, like
I
Huntington
know.
Beach.
Except he dropped out or something. Like once he got elected, he was done like within 6 months. I
That
think he
guy's a
resigned.
he's a bona fide idiot, dude. Tito
Tito's
Ortiz.
pretty
He's
bad
so
himself.
dumb. Yeah.
Okay, let me read this article and then we can kind of get your thoughts on it. So, Hawaii Island police responded to a report of an assault at a home on Kanoa Street in Hilo at 1 a.m. on Tuesday, November 4th. A 45-year-old man told police that Penn punched and kicked him multiple times before he was able to escape and call police. After reporting the attack, the victim went to Hilo Benoif Medical Center for his injuries. Police officers were able to locate Penn at 11:50 a.m. on Lahua Street, where he was arrested without incident. He was charged with third-degree assault, then released after posting $1,000 bail. He's scheduled to appear in court on December 2nd. So this happened at 1 a.m. yesterday.
That was my first thing right there. 1 a.m. Ain't
What you
nothing
doing at 1
popping
a.m., bro?
1 a.m. Ain't nothing popping at 1 a.m., dog.
Even if I'm up that late, I'm not outside.
Not on a Tuesday.
Yeah. Like, I'll be up at 2 a.m. in my fucking house.
Yeah,
Not,
dude.
not in the
I
streets
feel
where
like
the truck is.
Yeah.
the second the sun goes down, fucking BJ Penn's handler should put him in a straitjacket in a padded room and just not open it until the morning.
Yeah, this guy's fucking crazy.
Yeah, he's outside of his mind, dude. You feel bad though, right? Like this is the unfortunate reality is we're probably going to see more of this as the sport grows, you know? You're going in, especially these old guys, man, you know, that had the gym wars. All you see, I always say that the thing that impresses me most about MMA fighters is not showing up on any given date and getting into a fist fight in front of people. You know, it's the showing up to the gym every day and getting in fist fights with people to prepare to get into a fist fight with someone in front of people, you know? Like that's the craziest part about the whole MMA journey to me. It's showing up and every single day and getting into altercations. Eventually that's going to have wear and tear in your brain. And the older generation didn't understand that. They just showed up. You listen to like Brendan Schaub or you listen to Luke Rockhold or any of these guys, they would just show up and beat the shit out of each other. That's how they would train. It's insane. Insane.
And on top of that, damn, I just had my thoughts slip my mind.
I was gonna say too, like Hawaii is a different breed. It's a whole different world over there. You know what I mean? Like if they play almost by their own rules.
Street fighting is more common there.
It's
Super
celebrated, dude.
Yeah.
Do you
Culturally.
guys remember Zach Pauga? He
Yeah.
was in the UFC very briefly. He was on the podcast for the company that I work for. I talked to him for about an hour. Fucking great dude, by the way, Zach Pauga. Awesome guy. And he talks about how fighting it's made as like such a big thing in, call it whatever, like just American culture. It's like you get into fights like this big deal where I think he's either Polynesian or Samoan American, or I forget what it is, but it's like it's not celebrated, but it's normalized as just a way to settle conflict. If you have conflict, just go and fight each other and then it's over, you
Mm-hmm.
know? It's like
It's
that's a
normalized.
different dude. Getting
Yeah.
that's insane to me.
Yeah, I think it's also how it is in these other countries. That's why you see some of the Russians and stuff a little bit more built for it. They're just used to scrapping. You know, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Easy.
What I was gonna say though before I forgot my point was that I think MTK hit the nail on the head a while ago. I think with BJ it's CTE and drugs. It's a
Yeah.
combination of the two.
Oh yeah, he's smoking the best stuff on the market, man. Like
Because it's
he's
just
seeing
like super off
aliens.
the rails
Yeah,
ideas. His daughters have a restraining order against him. I don't know if you know that.
yeah, that's the
He thinks
least
his brother
surprising
has
news.
been cloned and his brother's kids have been cloned. It's not just his mom, you know? And that's when I started to pull back. I'm like, listen, if your own kids don't fuck with you, those are your kids. Like everybody's had
Yeah,
a, like, dude, I've loved my parents through some bullshit that they put me through. You know, we all do. The fact that your kids don't want to see you, your daughters,
yeah,
you really
crazy.
put them through some bullshit because kids will overlook a lot for their parents. It's your fucking
I know.
parents
Yeah.
You
at the
also
end of the day.
you don't want to capitalize on like a sad situation as well. It's sad at the end of the
It
day,
is. It
but it
really
is
is.
just like, dude, you got to stop getting in trouble with the law. You got to stop thinking people are cloned. You definitely got to stop fucking thinking that people are cloned. Like,
Hmm.
let's have a starting point.
And I think too, dude, like all his peers are seeing this play out in real time, and I don't really see anybody stepping up and trying to be like, "Hey, speak out!" Like, "Hey, how can we help you, BJ?"
Dana actually has. From my understanding, Dana's done a bunch for BJ Penn, and it's to the point where it's like he's exhausted the options at this
Yeah, I
point.
get that too.
I guess he's tried to help him on a bunch of different occasions.
That's what I was also gonna say when you're talking about how BJ is like it's sad about the situation. BJ ain't helping himself at all,
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
not.
right? Not helping himself at all. And like he
yeah,
gives me these vibes of like anybody who goes around him, dude, he fucking sucks you dry of your like of your energy type resources. You know, like he's gonna suck you dry just like telling you his fucking bullshit all day long. You could help him, he not
If
gonna
he
do
really, and
anything
that's the
with
thing
it.
too. If he's really on, smoking meth and on drugs and shit, it's you almost get to a point like dealing with those type of people, like, bro, like I can't even be around your craziness.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I gotta
BJ
stay
needs
over
it.
here. I gotta stay way over here. Like, bro, I can't even. This is too much chaos.
Because you can
Yeah,
help maybe
BJ
if they
needs to
want to
help
sober
BJ.
up. But if they
Yeah,
don't sober up, then your help is just falling on like deaf ears, so to speak.
100%, hundred
Yeah,
percent.
100%.
And then the people he's hanging around with, you know what I mean, all crazy too and shit.
Until he
Now they're
de-associates with
normalized.
them.
Yeah, no sleep, CTE, like it's all bad, bro. The homie really needs help. Help.
Last thing I'll say, we got 2 minutes before Saturday, aka Joe gets out of here. Tank Davis versus Jake Paul fight got canceled after Tank's domestic violence shit. Just any reactions, any thoughts to
I
that?
saw. Didn't they say Nick's gonna step up?
Nate Diaz is
Nate?
fucking fighting
Yeah,
him.
but it's not gonna. No, it's not gonna happen. I don't think. Right?
Okay. Well, I mean,
No,
I hope it does.
Well, I saw all
I
kinds of.
saw today that it got announced.
Yeah, I saw that today too.
Really?
It's on Netflix.
I'll watch that.
Well, I've been setting. Okay, so it's saying it's actually happening. Wait, hold up, because I don't think Jake versus Nate is official.
I mean,
Jake was supposed to announce news today. They basically said that Jake said that Nate is a G for accepting, but it wasn't meant to be. Has something changed since Jake said that? The word on the street is that Nate accepted the fight, but Jake says that is what just wasn't meant to be.
well, I will say this: a lot of outlets will just come out and run with shit. So there is that.
yeah, who knows what's correct.
In the world we live in today.
I'll say this, like from my understanding, Gervonta Davis, incredible boxer, world renowned, one of the best boxers of all time, also known piece of shit. From my understanding, like he's kind of always been like this. I think
Mm-hmm.
I think he's had multiple domestic cases against him.
They all been
Just
dropped though, so it's been super
yeah,
muddy waters.
Dude, being dropped is just Tank Davis having hundreds of millions of dollars and
Settling
throwing,
out of court,
throwing a
yeah.
bag at a chick and her accepting. It's just he has a little man syndrome. He's 5 foot fucking six, and he, justifies that by hitting women like a fucking piece of shit. Like it's awful, dude. Like anyone that has multiple domestics is probably
Where there's
not a good person in any capacity.
where
Like
there's smoke,
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So it's like Tank. It's also the fight should have never happened in the first place. Jake Paul,
that's a
Tank
joke
Davis,
fight. It's a joke
he's
fucking fight.
135 pounds.
It's a
Like,
joke
what are
Mhm.
fight.
you doing? He's 135 pounds. Jake Paul's 100 pounds heavier than him. What are we doing here?
Could never
So
take that shit
so
seriously.
stupid. So
Yeah,
dumb.
I agree with that.
What I've been discussing with the chat a little bit as far as like his abuse situations. The thing for me is like it makes it tough for guys like me because it's hard to condemn him when the women do take the money, right? Because I'm
Right.
saying that, but there's still no proof that he actually hurt her or beat her because she took the money. But
Right.
now that it's because that those previous ones, it was multiple accusations by the same woman, his baby mama. Now these are coming from a new girlfriend, who's now his ex-girlfriend. So now that you're getting it from two different people, I'm like, okay, I feel like I have enough. Even though you haven't been convicted, I can lean more on the narrative of like you're actually doing something to these girls. You might just be paying them off. But it makes it hard when they take the money because you really got to go out on a limb and say that shit. And if you turn out to be wrong, you look like a fucking asshole, you know? Because there are
Yeah.
drama baby mamas who do try to get money grabs. But all I'm saying is now it's a
Easily.
new woman too accusing him. So I got to start leaning more on the side of like Tank's violent.
Yeah.
But hopefully
Yeah.
this girl doesn't take the money and he can
Well, I mean,
actually
it's
get
like
convicted.
I'll give you an example. Tyreek Hill. I gave Tyreek Hill a lot of rope,
Hmm.
but eventually, the dude's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Gets to a point.
Eventually,
Eventually, yeah. It's like how many
eventually,
excuses are you gonna make for a
right.
guy, right? It's like again, if you're even in the realm of that, this is my opinion, if you're even in the realm of a domestic case, it's like you're probably not that fucking good of a
You know,
person.
it was funny. Just to say on this, how many of your friends that you know of personally, you're like,
That
man,
have domestic cases,
right,
None.
like
right. You know
none.
what I mean? Like, and so like, imagine like you guys find out like, dude, MTK got to domesticate. What the fuck? Oh no, nah, she was tripping and shit. And you hear it again, like, okay,
Yeah.
damn, like what's going on? Like, what's going on? Oh, bitches be tripping and shit.
No, it's true.
Because I know dudes like that. I'm like, man, I'm gonna stay away from you too.
If she's tripping one time, okay, I can, because I try to give benefit of the doubt. I
Look
try
at
to be that way.
Blueface. Hey,
Right.
Blueface just got out. Krishan and Blueface about to go.
Blueface going back to his two baby mamas as soon as he gets
Dude, that
out.
shit's about to go
Dude, he
wild,
he
bro.
looked, by the way, did you see the picture of him? He is chunky, dog.
He's
He
thick.
got he blew up in
He
prison.
got that federal food in him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I saw a
he got
video.
that-
They're like, "How'd you get big?" He's like, "I was eating like oatmeal and like something else," and they're like, "No protein." He's like, "There's no protein in jail." I'm like,
Have you
"Damn."
ever seen have you ever seen the Larry King interview with DJ Khaled? And he was like, how'd you gain all the weight? DJ Khaled's just like, just eating a lot.
Just eating a lot.
Just eating a lot.
Just eating whatever pizza, jail spreads.
I'll say this. Randy Brown better get that win this weekend.
Randy Brown needs
I'm a
that
little
win.
worried
Everybody's
after
counting on
seeing-
Randy Brown.
Let me
I'm
let me
real
rattle
worried
off two
after
plays
seeing
real quick
some of
before I
these
dip
other
out of here.
guys not get the win over the weekend.
Finish.
Randy
Say it one more
Brown?
time, MTK, and then Saturday go. I
Sorry
didn't hear
about
you,
that.
MTK.
Sorry.
I said I'm a little worried after seeing some of the performances this past weekend. Randy Brown needs to get this win. Phil Rowe, Dumas,
SD.
yep, and then there was another fighter on there too that I was like, oh, Themba too. Like I don't, not that Themba's from that same camp, but Randy Brown, you need to have a good.
It's time to pass this test, Randy Brown.
100%. Because if there's a person to do it, it's Gabriel Bonfim. And I like what Saturday said. Bonfim barely beat fucking
Wonder Boy.
yeah. And I
Barely.
respect Wonder Boy. I thought that's a good test
Yep.
because honestly, Wonder Boy won that.
Yeah.
Wonder Boy won round 2, round 3. I watched the fight last
Yeah.
night.
Yeah, go ahead,
I'm
Tyler.
on Randy Brown this weekend, plus 150. I'm also, for anyone else looking for a play, I like Christian Leroy Duncan this weekend against Tulio. Those are two underdogs. If you parlay them for $100, it pays 600. So, anyone looking for a solid like value play.
Randy's under. Randy's not famous.
Randy's the underdog, dude. I don't get it.
Really?
He's a plus
Damn.
150. He's a
Okay.
plus 150. I have no idea. I have no idea how that line makes sense. No.
Okay, see, this
no
is why I like Saturday on the show because I like talking about this type of stuff
Yeah.
right here.
Perfect.
I have,
No.
It makes no sense to me,
All
dude.
right.
But Randy Brown, 2 seconds, because I do need to fucking. I'm starving. Randy Brown has it's 8 here. I know, and I appreciate you guys taking this at 3. I know it's probably a horrible time of the day. Thank you.
No, all
Um,
good, all good.
but dude, Randy Brown has a horrible habit of losing the big fight.
I
But then,
know.
like he racks up these wins and then he loses the big one. Then he racks up wins and he loses the
That's
big
why
one.
he's the underdog.
And that's why he's the
Yeah.
underdog.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the one against Brian Battle that he
Ah.
lost, where he was just all it was just control time against the fence. It could have gone either way. And the other loss in recent memory is the current champ JDM. So
Yeah.
it's like and Brian Battle's on 8 fight win streak when he got cut.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't think, put it this way, JDM for sure fucks up Gabriel Bonfim, and Brian Battle probably beats Gabriel Bonfim too. So I love
like it.
Brown this weekend. I
A
love
good
him.
a good dog
And
bet.
just too, Saturday, I'm a big Bonfim guy, but I thought when I saw the Stephen Wonderboy Thompson fight, I was like, you got exposed a little bit.
Yeah, the only
I like Bonfim. I really do. I like him.
No, MTK was
I
big
wasn't
on Bonfim.
I wasn't a believer.
Yeah.
I wasn't a believer after he got melted by Dalby. Dalby fucked
Did.
him up.
He did.
But then
He's a
years-
dog too.
yeah, and then
Dalby's a dog.
but Randy Brown last fight put Dalby on his face. He was unconscious before he hit the floor.
True. Three
So-
examples as to why we should go with Randy Brown this weekend.
All
I
right.
can't wait. I love that. It's a great fight. Great fight.
Let's
And
go.
hey, if as I said, Randy Brown, I'm betting him. I'll give him out as an officially track play. But if Bonfim beats Gabriel Brown, DJ, for sure, I'm a believer then, for sure.
Okay. So Bonfim
Good.
gets through
He's
Brown.
good.
Yeah. He's certified.
That's why it's a good matchup. That's why it's a really good matchup.
Jacob, dude, thanks a ton for having me on again. DJ, always great to see you, man.
Pleasure.
And then good luck if you guys bet on this weekend's card. I'm gonna dip
Hey, take
because
that
I
parlay.
gotta go.
All right. See you later Saturday. Thanks for coming on
buddy.
again.
Thanks for having me, guys.
All right. Peace out. All right. Saturday. Hungry as hell. He got to get out of here. Me and MTK will pretty much end the show. That's pretty much the show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You got anything going on today?
No, I'm just gonna wrap up the studio, call it a day, get ready for tomorrow.
Hell yeah. What'd you think of the 3-man?
No, it's good. I
good.
like Saturday's energy. I like his takes. I like even at the end talking about the parlays. Like, I don't know that information honestly, and he knows that stuff like the back of his hand. And part of this world, there's a lot of that involved into it. It's good to have somebody that knows that, knowledgeable.
Yeah, he was ready. He has like notes, I feel like.
Yeah, and he's a very knowledgeable just on previous fights, fighters, news, like stuff that I wouldn't even know or think of. He just knows off the top of his head.
No, that was a good dynamic. I think as time goes on too, it'll I want to try it out a few more times just to kind of see how it catches on. Because I do think Saturday adds a nice little twist to the show for sure. He's almost like instant chemistry with Saturday, I feel like, between like the three of us.
Oh yeah, that was easy. Easy.
That's why I want to try it a few more times because I feel like there was chemistry. So I want to see if like the fans kind of catch on or like, latch onto this type of chemistry. So I'll talk to Saturday, see if we can get him on maybe a couple more times.
Yeah.
See how it goes.
No.
Okay. All right. So next Wednesday, boys, we will be live again for the maybe 3-man, but definitely probably me and MTK at the very least.
How to rename that? Not the 3-man.
The 3-man podcast.
It doesn't sound right.
It's like a fucking a gangbang type shit. But just a quick shout out. I think I've been live for like 28 or 29 days now. So the 30-day goal is approaching upon us. It might be tomorrow. So I will be live tomorrow on the solo stream. We'll see if I continue 30 days or not. It's been a fucking grind.
Hey, drop that blue face reaction for us.
A little blue face reaction on tomorrow's
Do a
stream.
blue face Christian reaction. Do a little no jumper.
Have you been watching all those clips too?
Oh my god, bro! Like,
Did you see him wiping his hands with after Wingstop on the paper bag?
Dude, it's too much, dog.
Did you see that?
No, day one. It wasn't even like, oh, he got out a week ago.
Nah.
Day one, his baby mama, Christian, her mom, then the some other shit, bro. It's just wild.
I saw a post about I think her name is Jade and Alexis. I don't even try to
His
know
baby
them,
mama. That's his
but they
baby
go
mama.
so viral. I know the fucking names. I guess Jade and Alexis was pissed that Blueface took their kid to the arcade with him and
Krishan.
Krishan's kid, and she's like saying, you know, I hope they fucking are still there when I get there. Don't nobody leave. I didn't approve of this shit.
Oh, did you see the clip? They have a clip of Krishan's boyfriend. She's licking his feet.
I saw that, and then he was reacting to Krishan kissing his back, being like, "This little piggy went to the market. This little piggy, you know where that been."
This is crazy, bro.
Both of these guys, dude, Krishan might be the real P.
Krishan fucking wild, bro.
Krishan got Blueface, knowing that she got a boyfriend. She kissing on Blueface in front of her boyfriend who's seeing it, and they both are sticking with her. Shout out Juice saying Blueface really got out and started up a reality show.
Hey, bro, he been on that Versus reality shit from back then.
What was it, For the Love of Blue or something?
Yeah, that's how Krishan and him met.
Yeah, that is how they met.
You know what I mean? Like then, the tooth, bro. It's all, bro. When you look at the picture of Krishan before she met, she was a track star in Maryland.
Yeah, she looked better.
Hell, she was a baddie, but fucking, you can't that mind though.
Well, Krishan got 2 boyfriends. Blueface got 2 girlfriends.
Shit's wild, dog. 24 hours out of prison.
Crazy shit, crazy
If I
shit.
was
Shout out
If I was
Blueface.
his parole officer, I'm like, what's happening, bro? We're
I
trying to
know.
let you out.
Hey, you know what I saw though? You know Aaron the plumber, right? You're familiar
Yeah.
at least. Aaron the plumber is kind of being like, "Hey, finally meant to be me versus Blueface boxing match." Shit, I watch it.
I
Of
might
all
not.
of the celebrity boxing matches, Blueface is a guy I would watch, and probably Aaron the plumber too.
Yeah, and I forgot he was before he went to jail, he was like doing a lot of like workout videos and like gym videos. I
He was
thought
getting ready for fights.
Yeah, he was. I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a video where he was training in a boxing gym, and some random ass dude pulled up on him with a knife in the gym. But the point is, he was training in boxing gyms like often.
Yeah.
Blueface versus Aaron the plumber. Let's see it.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
All right. Last thing, he looks crazy though, doesn't he? Blueface.
He's always
It's a crazy look.
he's always crazy. On schoolyard. On schoolyard.
All right, boys. Thanks for tapping in. I will see you guys tomorrow, and then MTK potentially Saturday. We'll see you next Wednesday.